So we're going to be talking about today a subject again that can benefit everyone that is watching the show today. Again, whether live or on the replay does not matter. Here's what we're going to talk about, all right? We got people all the time, man, moving and shaking in this town.
That's right.
All the time moving. But, there are some triggers that make people decide it's time for me to go.
Right.
Yeah. But there are some telltale signs that maybe you've not got the buzz yet. Maybe you've not got the inkling yet that you need to move. But we're going to talk today about 4 signs that you can look at and you can tell that it's probably time for you to move.
It's time for me to move
It may
along.
be time for you to be looking to pack your bags,
Right.
move to another location, maybe a bigger, a smaller. There's several things that we're going to talk about today, but we're going to talk about, again, some signs. That way you will know how to tell that it's time for you to move. So you ready to get on with this?
I'm ready,
right?
man.
Let's get some good information. You guys participate along in the poll question again as you come in. Give us the information. We want to hear from you. What color cabinets? White, black, or oak?
John says oak and Norma says white.
All right, so we're doing good here, right? Getting some good stuff. So you guys keep that coming along. So here, let's go. How to tell if it's time to move. You want me to go first? You want to go
Yeah,
first?
like when you go first.
All right, let's go
I'm always
first.
used to going second.
All right, you're the second guy. All right. Here is a way for you to tell that it's time to move. These are in no particular order. As always, we like to tell you this isn't legal or financial advice. This is simply our opinion. If you want legal financial advice, contact the appropriate people to give that to you. We're just giving you our regular.
I do run a side business of a lawyer, Dewey Cheatham and Howe.
Right.
So,
you do that.
yeah.
So here we go. How to tell if it's time to move. Number 1 is, all right, most people that purchase a house or have a house right now, you're living in a home, you've got that. The majority of people, I think you're going to agree with me on this, have a mortgage on their home. All right. We do see cash. People come and buy cash. They have no mortgage. That'd be a great thing, right, for everybody if we just didn't have a mortgage. But the majority of people that we see and that we assist, that we see here in the Lakeway area, and statistics will tell you this happens around the world, there's a mortgage on the house, all right?
Unfortunately.
So one of the ways to tell if it's time for you to move, if that mortgage payment that you're paying every single month, if it's become a little burdensome,
Right.
a little hard to pay, maybe you're falling behind on it, maybe it's just not no fun anymore to write that check, maybe financial situations have changed in your life, maybe there's been another child that's been added to the family, but long story short, you just can't pay the mortgage.
That payment's getting too much.
It's too much for you to bear, right?
Yeah.
If that's the case,
There's Karen.
and that has become what is, I guess, applied to you
Right.
as the buyer of this house, it may be time for you to look that it's time for you to move. Now, when we say that, that could be moved to many places. That could be sell your home, downsize to a mortgage payment that's better for you.
Right.
That could be sell your home, downsize to a rental, a condo, move in with your family. It doesn't matter. But my point is, if that mortgage payment has become really hard for you to pay, you probably need to go ahead at this point in time and start thinking about what's my exit? What am I going to do as far as my out on this house? Because here's what you don't want to have happen. You don't want to have that payment to become so burdensome that a foreclosure.
That you can't make it,
That
and
you
then
can't
they come
make
get
it.
it.
The foreclosure process begins to start. That happens because that leads to more things. That leads to your credit score going down.
Right.
That leads to other problems and situations that if you could just understand that this is too much for me, it's time for me to move, you could basically stop the problem at that point in time and not have to worry about this going forward.
Right.
Credit in the time that we live in right now, credit has become so important. Your insurance rates, I had no idea of this, but like the insurance rate that you get on your car, on different things, a lot of that's based on your credit score.
Everything is
Power
based on your
bill.
credit score. Power bills.
Cable bills.
Employment.
Employment. All of those things. So what I'm saying is if that's become burdensome to you, you probably don't want to let that get so bad that it begins to affect other areas of your life.
Right. And I'm going to say we see that a lot. We see that a lot where, maybe this is a common situation. Is maybe, they're a married couple.
Right.
There's a divorce situation.
Right.
Somebody keeps the house. So the income has changed of what was paying that because that house payment was based upon their incomes combined.
Right.
And then a lot of times, like you said, you see that person just tries to hold on to that house. And we've seen it where people could have sold that house
100%.
and made good money by selling the house, but they tried to hold on to it.
Right.
Then it goes to foreclosure. It's a lose for everybody.
Yeah, it just puts such a burden on everything.
That's what I'm saying. When you see, when you know that payment's getting too hard, don't let it get too hard too long.
Right.
When it starts getting hard, if you don't see the out, go ahead and start making your out.
Right. Yeah, and there's different situations. Again, every situation needs to be weighed, and the options for you as an individual, for you personally, there could just be something that made it for this month.
Right.
It's hard for me to get that done.
Right.
But if it's becoming an over and over and over and over again thing, that's a conversation you need to have with yourself, your spouse, whoever, again, who the responsible parties are for that mortgage payment. You're going to want to be having those conversations to say, because like you said, right now in our market, in our area, not just here, but across the country, so wherever you're watching this is going to probably apply to you. It's a good time to be trying to sell a house.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's a good time. The prices, they've increased. So it's a good thing that you could save yourself a lot of trouble. If you see that mortgage payment has become too much of a burden for you to pay, that's one of the reasons. Again, we're talking about today how to tell if it's time for you to move. That's one of the things that's a telltale sign. You are probably going to want to look for that. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. John just said, and it made it's a very good point. He said a house should be a blessing, not a burden.
Absolutely, 100%.
That's true.
There is no doubt. That's great advice. And so you want to make sure, again, that that's applying to your household, your home. So again, how to tell if it's time to move? First reason we're talking about is the mortgage has just become too much for you to handle. It's just too much of a burden. You need to make sure you get rid of that so you don't get into that foreclosure process and cause yourself other problems as far as coming down the road. That's number one. Anything else to add to that?
No.
Number two?
All right, so number two is I'm going to say is when there's just not enough living space anymore.
100%.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's probably another major reason we see people move. Okay, you got 2 kids, now you got 3.
Right.
House ain't big enough anymore.
Right.
I went to an East game here a couple weeks ago, a baseball game, and a guy come up to me, and that was our whole conversation.
Right.
He bought a house, he's totally remodeled it, but they had 2 kids when they bought the house. Now they've got 3, and they've been in that house for about 5 years.
What?
So everybody has, not only do they have one more kid, but those kids have now grown.
Right.
So now it's just not big enough.
And that happens so much more, I think, than we even understand ourselves. Again, just your family situation changes, right? Kids, again, you kids grow up, they need more needs, they get bigger, you need more space, you collect more stuff. And like for me, I need just a house that's got just a storage.
Yeah, I need a storage building.
And not that my house don't fit my family, we're okay. I just got too much junk, you know what I mean?
That's
to be
true.
able to put that, I need places to go. So those kind of things change your circumstances and your situation.
The house just ain't functionable for you and your family no more.
100%. Yeah, I was telling
your needs has changed.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You want to look at that because, again, go back to number one is that mortgage payment. It makes it a whole lot easier to pay that mortgage payment if everything's working out the right way.
Oh, yeah.
So what you begin to see is it don't fit no more. You know, I've got 3 kids and I got 1 bathroom and one's using the bathroom and one's off the back porch or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
There's a line.
You've got problems there.
Yeah.
That's probably a telltale sign you may need to look at the upgrade. Again, being at the time we are in the market, especially here in the Lakeway area, those things can be maneuvered again to where you move out of one, you move into another that fits your family.
Right.
That's going to, again, fit the needs, accomplish what your family needs for it to accomplish. Go ahead.
I'm going to say we're talking about, you know, it's not enough living space is what I said, but you can also turn that right around and say, now you've got too much living space.
Too much, yes, 100%.
And again, with the time that it is to sell right now, with prices the way that they are, if you're living in a house that's too big for you, and you could downsize, pretty good chance you could put some pretty good money in your pocket.
Yeah, you've got options.
Point. Yeah.
You've got options.
Because I'm just saying, normally if you're at that point where the house is now too big for you, that means you've lived in it a while, you've raised a family, that mortgage is paid down quite a bit,
or gone,
and now you've got a big house. You know, it's very easily you could sell. I just sold one. It's been a while back, but I sold one where that family had done that. They sold the house, had enough cash left over because of what they sold, that they went and got a new house and didn't even hardly have a payment.
And ain't that a good thing, right?
Yeah.
Ain't that a good thing? So again, those are just some signs, some things that you can look at and you can know, hey, it may be time for me to move. If you just join us, we're halfway through our real estate portion. So if you've just joined us, I see a few new people have joined today. Here's what the poll question is today, all right? Last time we were with you, we talked about siding color, all right? Today we're talking about kitchen cabinets. If you've not heard yet, we are filming episodes right now, going to be broadcast right here on this channel you're watching us on today. We are filming episodes for a show called Turning This House into a Home. Totally remodeling a house, right?
Totally remodeling.
Last time, yes, more than we thought.
Yeah.
Last time we picked siding color. Today we're talking about the kitchen. But if you had your choice of kitchen cabinet, the colors of the cabinet, would you choose, as you see in the corner box, white, black, or oak style, wood style colored kitchen cabinets? We want to hear from you. A lot of good answers already. What do you got?
Okay, so Maxine said about this right here. Of course, there's a lot of comments, but Maxine said she saw on HGTV that because her original thing was black.
Right.
She said on HGTV they take the lower cabinets and make those black, and the top they do white, and it gives it a real modern, classy look.
Think on that now. Huh?
Yeah.
That could be something there.
Could be
If
something.
you want a combo, put the combo in the box. Right? Give me combo number 2. That's what I'll take. Right?
How about we do a white, a oak, a black, a white, a oak, a black?
I don't like that.
I think
I could go with the white and the black.
Yeah.
I don't know about the other. So we want to hear from you guys. That's the poll question. So again, a lot of good answers coming in. We appreciate that, by the way, you playing along with the poll question. And literally, I'm being like real serious. This is seriously being taken into consideration as what we're doing with this house. I think it was way back when we first said this is getting ready to happen. I think Karen was the one who actually said, hey, y'all are to do this, do that, and all that good stuff. And so we passed that info along, and they were like, great idea.
Yeah.
So we're doing that. We're rolling with that. So we want to hear from you guys. Again,
She says she would go with white. Karen says white.
Yeah, I like that. I don't think there's a bad one here.
No,
I don't think there's a bad one. I think we can go good with all of them. And I know there's going to be other things that play into that, but we'll get there. Just hang on, right? There's
The walls are going to be that color orange. Y'all have seen that orange before, but the walls are going to be orange.
Yeah, come on now. Don't lie to them. Then they'll
you
start.
could hear them all. You could feel the gasp just come in right there.
Right. Yeah.
Surely not.
You know us, man. It's hard telling. But again, you're going to get to see all that. The transformation of this house.
Brad says he likes the black with the white on the top.
I like it, Brad. I'm going with that, man. There may be something there. I hadn't even had that thought, but there may be something
Never had
there.
that thought either, mixing them.
That is something good. That's right. All right, back to our real estate. Talking about how to tell if it's time to move. We went through the first 2. Let's give you the third one and the fourth one now as we go along. So here's the third one. If the commute to work, all right, a lot of people, I used to drive for my previous life. I used to drive about an hour and 15 minutes to work every day. Now, I will have to say, I enjoyed it.
Right.
I took advantage of that. I enjoyed it. But sometimes year after year after year, day after day after day, month after month, that can get really bad. Right? A lot of people who don't like to drive, if the commute to work has got just too long for you, that it's driving you insane to drive to work. Let's go all the way back to the mortgage here, okay? If you have a mortgage on this house, you need to keep your job.
Yes, you do, yes.
You need to keep your job to pay for the house. So if the commute to the job is totally driving you insane, maybe you're having to leave too early, it's getting you home too late because you can't get to the kids' games, you can't get to church functions, whatever, that could be a telltale sign you need to move a little closer to work. Right. You need to pack up, you need to get you a job a little closer to work, or you need to relocate work closer to you. You can go either way there.
Make sure you make the same amount of money.
Make sure that all your finances is taken care of because, again, you got to pay that mortgage. But in all seriousness, a lot of people call us and they're moving, they're switching locations, they're switching their home because of the drive to work. Maybe they got transferred, something happened, or maybe they just want to be closer to the job that they currently have.
Like you said, after so long, man, driving an hour and a half each way to work, that starts getting on people's nerves.
I agree 100%.
You know what I mean? Yes. That's a lot of money in gas.
When you look at it and you say, what's my time worth? You know, again, you could leave a job 5 minutes away and be home at 5:15. You're an hour and 15 minutes away. You're 6:15, 6:30, depending upon traffic. getting yourself home, that's something that you may want to take into consideration, right? Now, again, there are many other things that would go into that. But if that commute is really starting to begin to get on your nerves, you probably want to have a conversation. Could I relocate a little bit closer to work and cut down on that time?
Again, if you knew you could sell and make some pretty good money on the house you're living in now,
it might be a good thing.
Might be a good thing to have that conversation.
100%. That might be a good thing. That's number 3. What do you got for the last one?
So number 4 is simple. If you just don't love it no more. If it's got to where you just don't love that house, because again, it kind of ties all this right here in.
Right.
Just like you hate making that mortgage payment. If you just don't love it no more,
it's hard to pay.
It's hard to pay a payment on something that you hate. You hear people talk about it all the time. With cars, that's the same thing that goes into a house. When you hate that car, God, it sucks to make that payment, but it's the same way on that house.
100%.
If you just don't love it no more, it ain't cutting it for you. It ain't what it was when you fell in love with it.
I like that.
It might be time to say, you know what? Let's see what I can make on this one here.
Look at my options,
and maybe I can go find one that I love.
Right.
It sure is good to pay a payment on something that you love.
And options are there. Right now, options are there for people. Again, our inventory is coming up here in the Lakeway area, across the country. Inventory is coming up. Home prices are still at a good place for, as Dave said earlier, you be able to potentially put some money in your pocket by selling. So that's some things that you want to take into consideration. How do I tell if it's time to move? Hopefully those are 4 tips, again, that will benefit you to let you know, hey, maybe time for me, for us, for whoever, to have the conversation that it may just be time to pack the bags and move down the road. So again, that's our real estate information for today.